record on this. The computer says that we are about to start. We just said recording in progress.
Sit down.
Please sit, yeah.
Please,
Is there something
I
else?
just want to announce.
Please announce, yes.
Please turn off your cell phones or put them in vibrate. Just a reminder, some housekeeping rules. And thank you very much for being here today. And as we all know, we have been waiting for this occasion for a number of years now. Yes. Very blessed and grateful that Swamini ji is here with us for this weekend. For those of us who are new, I'd just like to read a couple of details about Swamini ji. She teaches and travels internationally. Swamini Svatmavidyananda, and she shares her knowledge of Vedanta with many institutions such as the Shivananda Ashrams. And she's an Acharya of Arsha Vijnana Gurukulam, as well as a disciple of Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati. And she's the founding member of Global Women's Peace Initiative. And erudite scholar, Swamiji addresses contemporary challenges facing the world, such as global warming, social, religious unrest in the unfolding of the Upanishads. Thank you very much for being here this evening. Hari Om.
Please turn off your audios online. Only your video you can keep on. Video you can keep on. Audio, you please turn off. Namaskars. Welcome to all. Very nice to see you all in 3D after so many years. And in keeping with the functions, celebrations of this historic inauguration of the Sri Ram Mandir in Ayodhya, this talk is dedicated to that topic of Ramayana, but with a Vedantic twist. Of course, whatever we do here has to have Vedantic twist. Without the Vedantic twist, everything is actually twisted. Okay. So, with these words, let us say the opening prayers, then start. Shruti-smriti-purāṇānaṁ ālayam karunālayam namāmi bhagavad-pādam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Padarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sivaya Pataye Namaha. Om Sahana Tato Sahano Vanato Sahavridhamaya Ramayana, story of Lord Rama. Everybody knows that. And popular story, well-loved story. Please coach in front. I keep have to saying every place has its line. Here, please come little bit in front. We have to say popular story and a delightful story. Of course, it's a story which warms the heart because it is the story of the vanquishing of adharma and the re-establishment of dharma in a yuga called Treta Yuga. This is the yuga. Please turn off your audios online. This is what we. One second. Please mute the audios when you log in. Okay? Thank you. Story of Rama, very popular. That is why we have so many versions of this story. Everywhere we have thousands of versions of this story. Same basic story, but with a little bit of creativity here and there, poetic license, author's license. Of course, the original one is what? Valmiki Ramayana. Then we have many other copy cats without needing to. This is the beauty of it. In the Hindu tradition, we don't have to copyright anything. We don't, because knowledge is free, freely shared. And you don't have to, there are no lawsuits because of plagiarism. No lawsuits at all. Very, very, very nice. So then there are no intellectual copyrights either. So we have Valmiki Ramayana. What other Ramayanas are there? Tulasi Das, Kamba Ramayana. Then Tulasi Das is Ramcharitamanas. Then Adhyatma Ramayana, which we are going to do now. And of course, Sri Lankan version of the Ramayana. Very interesting Ramayana. Completely opposite. The Rama is the villain because Ravana was the king of Sri Lanka. Their own king cannot be the villain. And so, very different. And they will say that this was a sad love affair between Ravana and Sita. In fact, there are many places there called Ravana Sita Park, Ravana Sita Bridge, all these things. And since they are so convinced about it, nothing you can tell them will convince them otherwise. You say things like, why did he have to go and save her? Oh, he didn't save. He just, he was a terrorist. He and all the people were terrorists. Why did she drop all the jewelry as a way to show him how to get there. Oh, because Ravana said, as he took her away, Ravana said, why, I'll give you all the nice jewelry you need. Throw this other man's jewelry away. That's why she threw it. This is how it's just complete opposite interpretation. We would consider it a distortion. Anyhow, there are therefore many Ramayanas. And the story is seen from many angles, but it is all about a wrong being righted. And it is all about Dharma prevailing under even the most impossible of circumstances. How can Dharma prevail when there is a Ravana afoot? How is that even possible? But Dharma does prevail. And that's why it's a story of hope and a story of devotion. Because here we see Rama as what? In the Ramayana, Lord Rama's personage is presented as an avatar. Avatara means other to descend, not morally, but physically descend through to cross. So Avatara means the one who is Bhagavan in human form. That is what it is. Or any other form. It could be, we have so many forms. We have, what is that? Fish and boar. Not B-O-R-E, okay? Avatara is anything but boring. We have fish, we have boar, all these things. A turtle, tortoise, turtle, something. So this is also Avatara, Bhagavan coming to help. This is extremely exciting. Bhagavan coming to help means this is fascinating, wonderful. Bhagavan coming to help human beings when there is a overload of adharma and a paucity of dharma. This is what these are the ways in which Bhagavan comes. So therefore, the Ramayana is a way to build up devotion, hope in a world of despair. Everybody needs hope. That's why the Ram temple in Ayodhya is a story of hope, because the fact that the Ram temple would be there was again a hope against hope in a way. And so this is all through. We see nothing but a story of hope. And the life for a human being is useless if there is no hope. And that hope against hope, even in the most desperate situation, that something will change, that something different will happen, that there is something called Bhagavan there, and that Ishvara will come to my help because I have been praying, not only me, the whole world is praying. Samashti prayer, totality, the total prayer is there, and definitely something has to change. These are all things that are ratified. Devotion is ratified, hope is ratified and validated. And this is something which keeps people going. That is why Rama and Sita are presented as Bhagavan, Bhagavati, God, Goddess, Ishvara, Ishvari, and that is why it's so heartwarming, and this is enough for most people. For most people, this is enough to have something to look up to. In fact, Valmiki himself asks Narada the question, and this is how the Sankshipta Ramayana, meaning Narada telling Valmiki in 100 verses, the story of Ramayana begins. Konmasmin sampratam loke Gunavan Kascha Viryavan, like this. 16 qualities are asked. Sampratam Loke. Sampratam Loke means right now, right here. Tell me. Narada tells, Valmiki asks Narada. Then Narada tells, tell me, Narada, who is it in the current world, in the current contemporary world, who is it who is somebody to look up to? I want somebody to look up to now. Why? Because wherever I look, I'm disappointed. You look at all the leaders, that's the subject for tomorrow. What do you feel? Disappointed. This one is caught in a scandal. That one is corrupt. And then we justify it. Oh, all politicians are corrupt. As though we think that this is, if they are not corrupt, something is wrong with them. This one is has some problem. That one is in and out of the jail. The other one has a problem with a different kind of a bar. Okay, and then either this bar or that bar. So like this, and we make jokes also about politicians and their tamasic nature and their corruption and all these things. So in India, if you go, so many Lalu jokes. Lalu Prasad, so many jokes. Lalu jokes are there. Somebody came to see him. He was unavailable because he was incarcerated. And then so they had to see his wife. And then the joke goes like this. The wife said, "Don't worry, I have a photograph, I'll show you." And so he's a milkman, belongs to the family of milk, this thing. So there was a photo of him with buffaloes. And she said, he's the third from the right. This is like this. We are jaded. We make fun of anybody who is in a position of leaders because they have disappointed us time and again. And if you think only now is the problem, even in those days it was like that. In every time it is like that. That's why we need Ramayana with a twist. More about that a little later. So everything is corrupt. Legislature corrupt, executive branch corrupt, or not up to par, judiciary not working properly. In not just in India or here, in any country. You ask any average person, they will say there are many problems. And so Valmiki says, point to me one person who doesn't have this quality of letting people down, who is dharmagya, who is sarvagya, who is viryavan. Viryavan means who's courageous enough to confront the situations, doesn't just run first. If the leader runs and takes shelter, then what will the praja do? The Raja is MIA. And what will the praja do? The praja is looking up to the Raja. And so this is the problem. This is exactly the problem with any time. That's why Valmiki is also very disillusioned, disenchanted. Show me a person who has these qualities. He enumerates 16 qualities. One who is Dharma, one who has Dharma, one who has the alignment between thought, speech, action. Arjuna, the one who is a truth speaker. Satyavak, Dridhavrataha, one who says something will do something. We will not just sort of say yes, yes, and then go away. Show me that kind of a person. In the contemporary world, that is how the Ramayana begins. And we know that Rama is indeed this kind of a person, born at this particular time and place in order to illumine these qualities. This is exactly the reason why the Ramayana resonates even after thousands and thousands of years. This is why it resonates. And this much is enough for practicing Hindus who can continue to be inspired. And for most people, this much is enough. However, Parvati wants more. Suddenly, how Parvati came into the picture? Parvati is in a samvada with Lord Shiva. Shiva Parvati dialogue. How will it be? Did you lock the door? I told you, you're so forgetful. Always you're forgetting things. Did you lock the door? How many times to tell you? This is not Parvati Shiva dialogue. This may be local Parvati Shiva dialogue. Not when we talk about Bhagavan and Bhagavati. Parvati Shiva dialogue will not deal with the mundane, will not deal with how things are difficult in life. That's not what, it's not a, because they are free, totally free of what? Samsara. I know it's been a few years, but what's the definition of samsara? Some sorrow or the other. Yeah, that is what samsara is. So they're not going to be talking about, oh, we need to go shopping for vegetables or what shall we do? I really need to speak to you about Kartikeya. He's not been behaving himself recently. This is not the kind of dialogue. Then what will they talk about? If they talk, this is very beautiful. This is Lord Vyasa's imagination in the Purana, Brahmanda Purana. This is the Lord Vyasa's imagination. If they were to be in dialogue, what will they muse about? They will have Adhyatmika conversations. Adhyatmika Atmanam Adhikritya Tishtati means it's centered on the Atma, centered on I. The conversations will be deep and will be illuminating. And they won't be private at all. Nothing private. Completely public. In fact, they have to be publicized because it is the deepest truth about the self that one can be. So Parvati asks Lord Shiva something. She says, you know, I'm having some problems. They say Rama is Bhagavan. Okay, I have a lot of Shraddha. She asks Lord Shiva, she tells him, I have a lot of Shraddha. It's not for want of Shraddha. I know it is Bhagavan. But look at how he acts. Sita is abducted, he sits and cries, which Bhagavan cries. You just sort of switch Lord Rama with Krishna, okay? Maybe Krishna's mother says, you cannot have any more butter. Childhood obesity is a real thing these days. Stop. What would, do you think Krishna will go, ah? Not even in the poet's imagination. He will cry. He won't cry. He will simply say, okay, mom. 2 hours later, come with buttery footprints. I told you not to eat the butter. I didn't eat the butter. Very innocent face. I did not eat the butter. How do you spell it? I don't even know how to spell butter. I'm such a small and cute boy. I don't know what. What are you talking about? Look at you. You're smeared in butter, head to toe. It's like you're dipped in butter. What do you mean you haven't eaten the butter? I haven't eaten the butter. Then why are you covered in butter, slathered in butter? Those big boys, mom, are bullies. Those big children ate the butter and I have been framed. Because I'm small and cute, I become the scapegoat for all their terrible activities. This is Krishna's way. But Rama sits and cracks. So many instances where he doesn't behave like Bhagavan at all in his life. I'm not saying Goddess Parvati says this. Parvati says, look at him. Kaikeyi had a fit. And since she did not know the spelling of Rama, she created a big drama. She said, I'm not coming. I want my child to be coronated and him to be sent to the forest. All here, and the Dasharatha was crying, without Rama, I will not live. I will not survive. I cannot be separated. He could have put an end to this. After all, why did he come? To establish what? Dharma. And the first instance of adharma took place where? In his own palace. With Kaikeyi acting out. Had to be banished to the anger management room, known as Kopa Bhavanam. Every house should have that. Yeah, at least a Kopa Kona, at least. Anger corner. Yes. Place you go to manage anger. And you can tell everybody, when I'm there, don't disturb me. Let's keep an eye out so that I'm not destroying things in the house. That's all. Or hurting myself. So, that was the first instance of adharma in the palace as we know it. What was he doing? And don't say, oh, he didn't know how to get rid of adharma. He, by that time, he had already killed off quite a few asuras. Gone and, given them moksha here and there, yes. He had killed off so many things. So he knew that he is dumb and sits, Goddess Parvati says. And then what? Then another instance. Then finally, the father says, don't go to the forest. He could have put an end to it there. He could have said, shut up, lady, sit down. I am the rightful king, and cancel that. I'm Bhagavan, not even king. I'm Bhagavan, pretending to be a king in the body. And this is why I have come. I am the avatara of Treta Yuga, and leave me alone to do my job. How about you go to the forest? Could have done that, yes. He didn't do anything. Then they go to the forest, go through so many hardships. And then Sita says, oh, nice golden deer. That was another time he could have asserted his Bhagavanhood, Bhagavatta in Sanskrit. He could have said, what are you talking about? No such thing exists. Golden deer, where? In your dreams, darling? This is not happening. Forest life is difficult enough as it is. Cancel that request. He still goes after the golden deer. And then, the rest is history. Iti ha asa, iti hasa. And then another time, Sita is abducted. Then he should have, with his, he could have, should have, could have, with his Divya Drishti, done what? Seen where he is. Instead of sitting there and crying, a grown man crying, and then like a madman, hugging each tree and saying, have you seen my Sita? Have you seen my Sita? So many instances. One more instance. Parvati says, these are all very disturbing to me. Bhagavan means they should be Bhagavan straight away. One more instance. When it is determined that Sita is in Sri Lanka, and then it has to be he has to go there, wage a war against this 10-headed Asura and all these things. He feels kind of faint of heart. The Guru has to teach him Aditya Hridayam to boost his morale. First of all, if he is already Bhagavan, why does he need Guru? She asks him that. Why does he need Guru? He shouldn't need Guru. He should be the Guru for everyone. Bhagavan himself, herself is Guru, then why does he need Guru? Then the second question, further, she says that again he has some questions about Atma Jnana. And again he goes to Guru Vasishtha. And Vasishtha tells him what to do to gain Atma Jnanam. Still he is not satisfied. Still he says, give me some sadhanas for Atma Jnanam. And the sadhanas are given. And this has come to us in a book by the name of Yoga Vasishtha. Don't read it, okay? If you read it, you'll feel like leaving town. Yeah. That's what you'll feel like doing. If you're ready to come with me to Rishikesh, read it. Yeah. Otherwise, keep quiet. Very, very intense sadhanas. Thorough book, huge book. And in fact, it is so big. Out of that, somebody made Laghu Yoga Vasishtha, taking down some of the main things and not so extreme things, and compiled a smaller version. Like there is Siddhanta Kaumudi, a treatise on Paninian grammar, then there is Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi, there is Laghu Yoga Vasishtha. You can see how huge and big it is. If we start doing all the things they say, something will disappear. Either the person will disappear or Ajnanam will disappear. We don't know which will come first. So then these are Parvati's questions. He's doing all these things. And then what is the purpose of this? Why should we do this? And why should I see him as Bhagavan? Why should I see him as an avatar? One more thing she points out. She points out that in the Bhagavad Gita, which is part of the Mahabharata, Lord Krishna comes out and tells in so many words, I am an avatar. I am Bhagavan. And I have come because there is a dip in Dharma and a rise in Adharma. I have come here to right this state of affairs. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrita dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami once in a while. Okay. Sambhavami, that some here means through my own magic, I come back again and again. Lord Krishna declares himself. But here, there is no such declaration. No such declaration at all. Quietly, he keeps quiet and just goes along with every injustice. And she says, why? In this is how the Adhyatma Ramayana begins. With a question, with a series of questions posed by Goddess Savitri, who is a little disturbed because in her understanding, it does not jive with whatever she is hearing. She wants to see Ram as Sri Rama, as Bhagavan, but she is unable to do that. She is not very happy to do that because there are, in her mind, certain discrepancies. Very cleverly posed by Lord Vyasa, because those discrepancies are not just in her mind. In whose minds are they? In all our minds. And even going forward, this difficult business of, what is that called? Uttara Ramayana. What is this Uttara Ramayana? Sita not being told anything, after the whole thing is said and done, the war has been waged, victory has been gained, Sita has been brought back. Sita has been brought back where? To Ayodhya. And then they are all living happily ever after? Question mark? No. Somebody says, oh, she was in some other person's kingdom. How can he take her back? And so for that, Rama says, let us leave her in the forest. This is an interpolation. If you study and a lot of people who know, who are Sanskrit scholars, agree, a lot of Swamijis agree that this is an interpolation by somebody who had a lot of free time to write this kind of a story. A story that ends in separation and sorrow, rather than stop at where Valmiki stopped. There is no such thing as leaving her in the forest and all these things. The Ramayana of Valmiki ends with the coronation known as Pattabhisheka. Ends with the coronation. There is nothing else after that. So, but these are the reasons Parvati is a little disturbed. And this disturbance, her disturbance, becomes an occasion for all of us to take a re-look at the Ramayana to see what else might we have missed. What else do we need to see? What else do we need to imbibe to extend this wonderful story and to make it more relevant to our own lives? And Lord Shiva responds first by saying a very important thing. He says that Lord Rama represents Dharma. Lord Krishna is the embodiment of Ananda. That's why he is called Tribhangi. There are three bends. Because Ananda you cannot predict it. It's not linear. It's like a wave of joy. That is how Lord Krishna and any dancer depicting Lord Krishna will stand like that. One side the body will be on the other side, the legs will be again on this side. But you ask the same dancer to depict Lord Rama, who is the embodiment of what? Dharma. She will suddenly make herself very straight and go like this with the bow in the hand. The Dharma there is no compromise. There is not something like, I told a lie, you told the truth, but both of us are all right. No. Lying is also okay. Telling the truth is also okay. Cheating is okay. Sometimes we say sometimes. We add sometimes. Sometimes cheating is okay. Why? Because those people cheated against me in my last life. So therefore cheating is okay. Telling lies is okay. Why is it okay? No, because it's okay. Everybody does it. Everybody does it doesn't mean it's okay. But this is how there is no compromise in Dharma, really speaking. It's either right or it is not right. It's totally just plain wrong. That's why Dharma is the first Purushartha, the goal of the human being to be accomplished. Accomplishing this goal, only all other goals can be accomplished. Artha, Kama, security, and other goals, security and other creativity and other goals, pleasure, security, cannot be pursued without Dharma. I mean, can, but then one will end up behind bars. Okay, yeah. So therefore, without Dharma, nothing can be done. Dharma is the first thing to master. And that's how the word Purushartha comes. Sarvaihi Purushaihi Arthyate. Arthyante. So that which is desired by all beings. How can you say Dharma is desired by all beings? Go to a prison, okay? And then interview some of the inmates. Do you want Dharma? They'll say, absolutely not. Let me out and I'll show you. This is what they're going to say. What Dharma are you talking about? So, there seems to be a discrepancy. Dharma is not loved by all. But whereas freedom, moksha, everybody wants freedom. In fact, I want moksha from you right now. Everybody says to the significant other. And then this is, so this is dearly loved. One wants moksha from something or the other. Moksha from mosquitoes, moksha from either bugs or bugging people, moksha from this, moksha from that, moksha from everything one wants. Moksha is dearly beloved. And then artha. Who doesn't like a bank account? Yeah. Even if it doesn't belong to me. If somebody shows somebody else's bank account, even that causes happiness before it causes sorrow. Ah, nice. Your bank account looks wonderful. And who doesn't want karma, pleasure? Music, food, painting, art, dance. Everybody likes. But you can't say the same thing about dharma. Forget Vigrahavan, the one who is embodiment of dharma. Forget that. Dharma itself is not beloved by everybody. And here we have to say that dharma is desired indirectly, whereas the other three purusharthas are desired directly, dharma is desired indirectly. What do you mean dharma is desired indirectly? Indirectly means I want you to be dharmic towards me without me being dharmic necessarily towards you. Does it work that way? Say no, so we can move. It does not. Because everything cannot be codified in the laws. It's all an unwritten matrix of norms. Only if I'm kind to you, will you be decent towards me? If I'm unkind and if I say, give me that and take away your things, then this is what you will also do to me. And this we know because we do that for small children. You have to share. What's share? I don't know that. The child will say, everything is mine. This is also mine. That's also mine. No, no, no. You have to share. What will happen if I don't share? The other children will go home to their homes with your toys. Will you like that? No, 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 no. Okay, then you have to share. Dharma, I want other people to be loving, other people to be considerate, other people to be compassionate, other people to be respectful of me, my belongings, my possessions, my relationship, my beliefs, my values, my opinions. And that cannot be enforced unless and until I have that same consideration for the other people. So now Dharma is also beloved, isn't it? Dharma is beloved indirectly. That's why it is the first Purushartha. And therefore, Lord Shiva says that he is not the embodiment of Ananda. That will come later. He is the embodiment of what? Dharma. Ananda is moksha. That's the last Purushartha. First one is first we have to know our do's and don'ts. We cannot fudge up the things and say, maybe theek hai, that is also okay, this is also okay. We cannot say that. So therefore, there is this need to see the Lord himself as an embodiment of this dharma, which is very difficult to understand and even more difficult to gain. So gaining oneness with Lord Rama is gaining oneness with dharma in my own life. Yatra yatra dharma. Dharma. Wherever there is dharma, there is what? Rama. Rama lives where dharma lives. If dharma lives in my heart, Rama lives in my heart. Something very beautiful to see. And then, that is the first point. The second point about dharma is that following dharma is not easy. That is why it has to be reiterated again and again and again. Just see anywhere, even driving on the highway, 75, not 75 highway, but the speed limit, 75, which also happens to be 75. 75. And then you go a few more miles, what do you see? 75. You go a few more miles, what do you see the board saying? 75. Yeah. Once you say it's enough, why do you have to keep saying it? Because between the first 75 and the third 75, the person has gone 95. Yeah. So therefore, the speed limit is reinforced repeatedly. Why? Because the tendency to go again against dharma is there. For who? Human beings alone. No one else violates dharma. What is the dharma of the cow? To grow up, to have babies, to eat grass, to grow old, and then Ram Nam Satya hai, to die away. It does not, cannot violate dharma. It's dharma, it follows. Even if it gores a person, still it was threatened. Maybe somebody was coming after the baby, it protected itself. It is not liable for dharma adharma. Why? Because there is no free will. Being programmed, there is no free will. Since there is no free will, anything goes. And then whatever it does not accrue papa or punya. No punya, no papa. The cow gives milk, it doesn't accrue punya. The cow gives somebody a nice kick, doesn't accrue papa. If the cow kicks, you can't blame the cow. You have to ask the person standing behind the cow, are you out of your mind? Why did you stand behind the cow? Doesn't have that. Cow also has Atma Ajnana. Human being also has Atma Ajnana. The cow cannot gather Papa Punya. Human being, because of the Atma Ajnanam, goes against Dharma repeatedly. Atma Ajnanam, self-ignorance, goes against Dharma repeatedly. Repeatedly, one does what one should not do, and repeatedly, one does not do what one is supposed to do. Both those constitute Dharma. Why? Dharma is not easy to follow. As Pujya Swamiji always used to say, anything that I love, what are three things he would say? Anything that I love is what? Illegal, immoral, or has too many calories, or has sugar in it. Yeah. So, this is the problem. The problem is that the raga and the dvesha, of which we speak about a lot all the time, overpower the judgment like an eclipse and lead one to wrongdoing. Wrongdoing in three ways. First way is wrongdoing because it is just universally wrong. It violates what we call samanya dharma. What is samanya dharma? Universal dharma. To cheat, to defraud, all these things are universal. And then sometimes it is wrong because it may not go against universal dharma, but it is highly inappropriate. There is a place for something, there is a time for something, there is an appropriate kind of behavior for these occasions. If there is a wedding or some kind of a function, one dresses in a certain way. And if it is a mourning, one dresses in a certain way. If I wear what I am wearing to the wedding and go to the mourning instead, a memorial, nobody will say anything. It's not that I'll go to jail or anything like that. But it will cause a certain disturbance. And anything that causes disturbance is what? Adharma. This is Vishesha Dharma. Then on the individual Vyashti level, what is right for me to do? What is wrong for me to do? It may be right for somebody else. Somebody says, oh, I'm getting married. And the other fellow said, I also want to get married. But for the second person, this is not a correct way of going about it. Why? Because that person has become a brahmachari. So therefore, they are on a different track. So therefore, it is not the right choice, even though nothing wrong in marriage. So this is called Swadharma. Lord Rama is the embodiment of all these three. Very beautiful. All these three. And because there is confusion around around Dharma, there is confusion around Lord Rama, understanding Lord Rama. Because Dharma itself is not understood, how will Lord Rama be understood? Then, following Dharma is very difficult because one has to give up raga and dvesha. When one gives up raga and dvesha, then there is pain. Then the predicament of Lord Rama is seen in this very, very nicely. He goes through the pain because it's a human avatara. He feels the pain very, very clearly and dearly he feels it. He feels the separation of Sita. We see Adharma there. He has to already undergo separation from his family, from his beloved father, mother, everybody. And the kingdom is taken away. Even he has to give up the kingdom for the sake of Dharma. He has to give up his beloved people for the sake of Dharma. And then Adharma claims the wife as well. His whole life is a story of being surrounded by Adharma and how to behave in those conditions. Does the person succumb and say, you know what, this is too much? I can't live in this world with so much injustice, and this is not okay. So much injustice, everywhere there is injustice, and this is not okay. He doesn't do that. From the embodiment of Dharma, seeing Lord Rama as the first Purushartha, we also see which battles to fight and which battles to let go because we cannot fight each and every battle. We see him following the father's words via the stepmother in order to keep the peace, in order to spare people further sorrow. He gives up everything. But then when the beloved Sita is kidnapped, he chooses to go fight that battle. He could have kept quiet. He could have said, okay, this just happened. Let it be. He doesn't keep quiet. Why? Because here we see in the figure of Ravana, he's the embodiment of what? Adharma. Total Adharma. Embodiment of Adharma. And so therefore, he has to go there and for Loka Sangraha, for the benefit of the entire world, and to show himself as an example, he has to fight against this terror called Ravana. And naturally, being in the human body, for the sake of showing everybody, he shows some hesitancy, diffidence. All this Parvati is counseled in this 4,000 verse work called Adhyatma Ramayana, attributed to Lord Vyasa, but some people say that it's of a more recent origin and it is ascribed to one Swami Ramananda. We don't know who wrote it, but it does not matter because it is very beautiful. So here itself we can stop, and we have had a lot of, we have gained a lot by seeing Lord Rama is the embodiment of Dharma, and the worship of Dharma itself is the worship of Bhagavan. Why? Because what we call Dharma is not a mandate of God, but a manifestation of Bhagavan. So this is one level which warms the heart. But we can go further. We can go much further because the dialogue between Lord Shiva and Parvati goes much further than this. This is just one level. This is a level everybody relates to. Everybody who loves Ramayana relates to this. Everybody who loves Lord Rama relates to this and can grow as a result of this to become a dharmic person. And when dharma becomes non-negotiable, then what happens? We have chance to go for moksha, the final purushartha. Then only the Upanishads start to talk. Otherwise, the Upanishads are silent. They don't yield their secrets because the heart is full of conflict and the heart is full of raga dvesha, and there is not much room for the understanding of one's own nature as Bhagavan to be unfolded. So then the Adhyatma Ramayana, very beautiful. Here the whole story starts with Sita being the teacher of Hanumanji. Teacher of Hanumanji to teach him self-knowledge. Hanumanji, there is a very nice story in the Ramayana. After they come back to Ayodhya, Mother Sita is so happy. She gives a pearl necklace to Hanumanji. What does he do? Yeah. He doesn't break it up. He bites into each and every one. Bites, looks, throws. Bites, looks, throws. Lakshmana is very angry. He draws his sword. He says, "Hey, monkey." First time he calls him monkey. What are you doing? The goddess has given you this, and this is what you're destroying. This is how you're doing this. What's wrong with you? And he says, "No, I'm looking for Rama. If there is no Rama, I don't want anything." Sita says, "I am not offended." I'm not at all offended by this. In fact, this shows me your bhakti and your shraddha. Show me that you are ready to really understand. Since your love for Rama is so much, let me tell you who he really is. Then we have two vyutpattis of the word itself. From the dhatu Ram. Okay, not R-U-M, all right? Ram. So, and then you have a particular masculine suffix, Ghanj, and that gives Ram. So, the general meaning of the word is somebody who's called Rama, that is all we say, Rama. But the grammatical derivation is Ramante Yasmin Yoginah, that in which all the yogis revel. This is the Rama. What can you revel in? What is the object of revelry? Can you revel in something that brings sorrow? No, that is not revelry. That is a mourning. That's not revelry at all. You can't revel in something that makes you sad. So therefore you revel in what? Something that makes you happy. Very, very happy. For how long? All the time. So Rama is that reveling in which the yogis are happy. Why the yogis? Because I want what the yogis want. Simple. I want what the exalted yogis want. And if they are happy reveling in something, I also want that. So Rama is the revelry for everybody. And Rama is that which makes everybody happy. What is that? Oh, Lord Rama? No, no. Here it is not Lord Rama at all. Here it is Atma Rama. That which is my own self. Lord Rama makes me happy because he is the truth of me. That's the only reason. Otherwise, there is no reason. The truth of me alone has the power to make me happy. And so, Sita ji says to Hanuman that you are the fitting person to know this derivation. He says, I already know because I know 9 forms of grammar. Hanumanji had 9 forms of grammar under his belt. In fact, 8 forms have disappeared from this earth. Only this Indian grammar is there in entirety. So many other forms of grammar. 8 other forms have become extinct, unfortunately. So he says, I already know this. She says, yes, that's why I'm telling you this, because you will understand. Rama is the truth of you. How can he be the truth of me? He's the truth of you because in craving for Lord Rama, in feeling separated from him and mourning him, what is it that you're doing? You're just missing your own self. You're missing your own self. And therefore, she says you have to see Lord Rama in 3 ways. One way we have already covered, as an avatara Purusha, as the embodiment of Dharma. One way she explains this. Then the second way is to look at what is it that when you take away the crown, the king, Raja Rama, when you take away the kingliness, when you take away the kingdom, when you take away all the roles, when you take away even the human being, what is left? Hanumanji says, nothing is left. No, no, no. Something is left. What is left? Satchidananda. That awareness, that essence of the very being who is nothing but consciousness. That consciousness alone is left. And that consciousness is the embodiment or the truth of Lord Rama. And that consciousness is indeed the truth of you. What we do is Bhagatyaga Lakshanaya. Lakshana, indication, by the indicatory words and through a pedagogical device called Bhaga Tyaga. You retain, you give up something and you retain something. Here, what do you give up? Everything that is time bound. Shall we give up the body or not? Cognitively, okay? Don't give up the body, all right? Yeah. Shall we give up the body to discount it cognitively? Is it time bound? Yes. What about the mind?
Yes.
Yes. Senses?
Yes.
Yes. Ahankara? Yes. Raga, Dvesha? Yes. Kama, Krodha? Yes. Etc., etc. Everything? Yes. Then if we take all this away, what is left? Satchidanam. I exist is left. I am. The amness is immediate. The amness is not waiting for something else. Amness is not waiting to be called or to be forgiven or to be told something. The amness is right there. The amness, in fact, with regard to this body, mind, sense complex, I say I am. With regard to the Jagat, what is it? Is. That amness is isness. That isness is amness. This amness is I am. How do you know? Do you ask the neighbor? Am I or not? Do I exist? No. Are you here? Yes. I'm here. Definitely I'm here. What a question. Of course I'm here. This is what is called the self-existent I. Not only am I existent, I know I am. That is what I am, Sat. I know, Chit. But what do I know? Chit must be all-knowing. Yes, Chit is all-knowing. But you said Chit is me. Yes, Chit is you. But I am not all-knowing. It all depends on how we describe all. What is the definition of all? Can we agree that all is equal to what I know plus what I don't know? Yes. Do you know all that you know? Yes. Do you know that there are many things you don't know? Yes. Therefore, you are Sarvajna, all knowing. Therefore, you are Chit. Sat Chit. How long are you Sat Chit, Sat Chit? Forever. All the time. That's why everything one wants forever, 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 forever. We want things to last forever. Unfortunately, they're what? Time bound. Only thing that lasts forever is the one who wants the forever, happens to be forever. This is what is called Satchidananda. This Rama is the embodiment of Satchidananda. You are the embodiment of Satchidananda. Therefore, the Mahavakya, Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi. This is what it is. Just seeing the story of Lord Rama itself, you can say this. That Rama is Satchidananda, not some king with a sad face because the wife has been abducted. That would be doing disservice from this angle. Then she says, but there is also one more thing we have to see. This is what is called Swarupa Lakshana. Swarupa is the essential nature of something without which it cannot be. What is the Swarupa of fire? To be hot. Heat and light are the Swarupa of fire. Similarly, the Swarupa of Lord Rama is what? Satchidananda. But yet there is one more Lakshana. What is that? Tatastha Lakshana. Tatastha Lakshana means the Lakshana that comes and goes. A definition, a conditional definition, a time-bound definition. This is the universal unchanging definition. Then there is a conditional and time-bound decision called, definition called Tatastha Lakshana. And what is that? That simply is you, that is simply is you with all the accoutrements. So if we take the personage of Lord Rama, then all the accoutrements, King of the universe, not just King of Ayodhya, King of the universe, Lord, Bhagavan. And Bhagavan itself is what? Shadaishwarya. 6 kinds of virtues are talked about. All knowledge, all jnanam, all knowledge, all shrihi, all abundance, all knowledge, all abundance, all vairagya, all strength. Like these 6 qualities are there in full measure, all these are taken into account. And this is a conditional definition in relation to the universe. You have to know this, Sitaji says. And of course, now we are into the story within a story. First story is what? Let's not forget. Yeah, Before that, we are sitting here. That is one story. We are all sitting here. We haven't seen each other in so long, and we are reveling in that. And then in that story, we have another story of Shiva and Parvati, Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati. That's the second story. And in the second story is what? The story of Sita telling Hanumanji the three ways in which Lord Rama has to be understood for the person to be freed of what? Freed of some sorrow or the other. Then Parvati in the second story says, I have a question. I'm still not convinced. How to do this? I don't understand this. Because how can I be the same as Lord Rama? Up till now, I was worshipping and I was doing my, I was lighting arati and everything. But how can I be the same as Lord Rama? This doesn't seem right. And then Lord Shiva said, actually, Hanumanji also had the same question. So just keep quiet and listen to the whole story. So here, now in the story within the story, Sita ji is explaining and Hanumanji says, no, no, no. You are just something to worship. How can I see that you and I are one and the same? Then, as Sita ji is explaining, Lord Rama himself comes and says, I'll take it from here. You have explained so well, Sita. Let me explain further. And then he explained this in a very beautiful way. This is the stock examples we use in Vedanta all the time. And very beautiful. He says, I am like the sky. What is sky? Akasha, space. I am like the boundless sky, the boundless space, Akasha, unconditioned by anything. And then what? Then I want you to look at three different kinds of Akasha. And everybody is perplexed. Three kinds of Akasha. Maybe Lord Rama is himself getting spaced out, talking about so many kinds of space. No. What gets spaced out is not Lord Rama. Here he is not only Lord Rama, but the teacher of Brahma Vidya, no question of getting spaced out. So he says three kinds of Akasha, kinds in apostrophes, obviously. First one is space, unbridled, space without any limits, limitless space. Then the second kind of space is the space as it obtains on the surface of a lake or a pond or a body of water. When you look in the body of water, what do you see? Space. You see the space. Then finally, what? You take a pot of water, there also you see space. See, in Vedanta, we have converted that into sun, reflection. Sun. The sun and the reflection. Here, straight away, space is used. So the first space is me, unconditioned, complete. That's the essential nature of me. And that is you. That is everybody. Because the truth of everybody is space-like, free of everything. Then the second space is like the Jagat. Like me in relationship to the Jagat. It has some boundaries, and as long as the pond is there, it reflects the space, and as long as when the pond dries up in the summer, perhaps there is no more that connection. So when the Jagat goes back to me, then there is no connection with that. And the third one, that is space reflected in a pot of water or whatever the medium is, some liquid, is me sitting in your buddhi. Me sitting in the buddhi, and sitting in the buddhi means what? I am there. Whether you like it or not, whether you search for me or not, whether you like me or not, I am in your buddhi. Then here Parvati in the second story says, Hanumanji is quiet, Parvati says, then if Lord Rama is everywhere, if Lord Rama is in the form of the Jagat and in the form of my own buddhi, then why are people crying? Why are they not happy? And then Lord Shiva says, because they are sleeping the sleep of what? Atma Avidya. It is as great as the sleep of Kumbhakarna, maybe even greater, because let us not forget, Kumbhakarna was at least awake for 6 months of the year. And what about us? We are not awakened at all. We are completely asleep to the glory of the Tatastha Lakshana, Swarupa Lakshana, Satchidananda, nothing. We don't wake up at all. And this Gadha Nidra, this deep sleep, makes us forego this glorious deep sleep, whether it comes in class or outside of class, doesn't matter, but it makes us forego the truth of ourselves, makes us forego the opportunity to understand that perhaps I'm not very different from that which I yearn to be, which is free, which is whole. And what is Lord Rama? Free, whole, and the truth of me. Then there are certain other questions, how to get there, and then we have, what is that? Shama, Dhamma, Uparati, all the preparations and everything are discussed. But this is the essence. Because it's 4,000 verses, we can't go through all of it. This, in short, is the essence. And then this has also been made into a song. Khelati Mama Hridaye. Beautiful song. Khelati Mama Hridaye Ramaha Khelati Mama Hridaye. Lord Rama plays in my heart. Because he himself said, I am in the buddhi is resting in the heart. So Khelati Mama Hridaye. And then who is Sita? Shanti Videha Suta Sahachari. She walks with Lord Rama. Who is she? Shanti. She's the embodiment of Shanti. Rama is self-knowledge. Sita is the phala of self-knowledge in this song called Shanti. They go together. They totally go together. One cannot be separated from the other. That's why the last portion of the Ramayana is really not, it is to be totally discounted because it goes against this metaphor and everything we know completely. So she is the embodiment of Shanti. And who does Shanti come to? Shanti comes to the person of self-knowledge. Somebody says, no, I don't have self-knowledge, but I have Shanti. Then we have to ask them for how long you have Shanti. Until she is abducted by what? After 10,000 indecisions, 10 heads of Raga and Dvesha, that is what abducts the Shanti. So that means it's not permanent. So the permanency, we talk of two kinds of Shanti, relative Shanti, which is what we have in our life, especially what even if the person says, I don't know how to spell Shanti, in sleep you have Shanti. Even if you don't have Shanti in sleep, your family members have Shanti from you when you go to sleep. Okay? This is very nice, very convenient. So Shanti everybody knows. But the Shanti is what? Time-bound Shanti. That is all what I know. Time-bound Shanti. A Shanti that is conditional. And Shanti one doesn't really know fully. This is relative Shanti. And then we also have what? Absolute Shanti. For absolute Shanti, we have to have Atma Jnana. A Shanti that does not change. So that's why what? She is Vaidehi, without a body. Shanti comes when you transcend the everyday needs all the time. I mean, I'm not saying don't feed the body or right now have an out of the body experience. That's not what I'm saying. But the total one is totally, generally speaking, in the world, one has obsessed by the body. What is happening now? Where is it hurting? What is wrong? How should I do this? Difficult. I mean, if you can change it, yes, change it. But if you can't change it, one is not able to easily put up with that which cannot be changed. Everything has to be a certain way. This is hard because it makes it very, very difficult. So therefore, the um, the Shanti is that which transcends the needs of the body, mind, sense complex. This is why her name is Vaidehi, that she who is without a body, because the body based Shanti, mind based Shanti, senses based Shanti is what? Temporary. As long as the body is in a certain position, it's happy, otherwise, it is unhappy. So that's why she is Vaidehi. She promises a Shanti that transcends the needs of the body, mind, sense complex, the fruit of Atma Jnana. Then we see what happens when the Atma Jnanam is not there. Then in the same story, in the same song, Rama becomes a Jiva and then Sita becomes what? The Shanti that he is going after. And then when Sita gets abducted, he is incomplete. Then we have also Maya in the form of the golden deer. Such a non-existent thing. What happens to this non-existent thing? Everybody is going after this non-existent thing. And then she also goes after this non-existent thing. And then Rama tries to please her in just the story without the symbolism. Rama tries to please her and bring back the non-existent thing. And then Sita herself becomes non-existent from that place in that time. And so Maya, the Maya Shakti, the concealing power, and the Avarna Shakti, and then the Vikshepa Shakti, all that is discussed in this. And then who is Ravana? Ravana, and the kingdom is called Ayodhya. Ayodhya is the heart, with the truth of myself, which is unconquerable. That is what Ayodhya becomes symbolically. Unconquerable Ayodhya. And then Ravana, 10 heads, indecision, all kinds of plotting, Ragadvesha. And this is the Lord Rama, who kills off the Ragadvesha, whose Shanti never leaves his side. And where is this Lord Rama? Playing in my heart. Very beautiful. We'll stop here for now. And after the closing prayer, if we have any questions, we can do that. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevasishyate Om Krishna Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Any questions are there? You can ask. Tomorrow shall we announce the things? Oh, there is a question? Yes? Yeah.
It doesn't matter who wrote the information.
Okay, can you speak up?
It doesn't matter? Yes. If the author doesn't matter, why does what matter? I couldn't understand it. No, I didn't say it's only Valmiki. There are many versions, I said.
Right, where he leaves Sita in the forest.
Yeah. Yes. That part was a later interpolation, where he leaves Sita in the forest.
Later too.
Yeah, that was written later too. But here we are not talking of Shiva and Parvati, we are talking of that we know is later. So we are not confused that it was happening in time. Here somebody came later and wrote and said it happened like this at that time. That is what we are contesting, because the style of the Uttara Ramayana is not the same as Valmiki's verses. He tries to copy, but whoever it was, but does not. We can tell that there is a difference. Like if we know Adi Shankara's work, if we know that, then we know many texts are attributed to him out of respect, but we know this is not Adi Shankara. So, like that, we know scholastically it is not Valmiki. That's all. Yeah, here, Shiva and Parvati are sitting much later and then they are discussing. That we already know. But it's not like Shiva and Parvati are also part of the Ramayana and it's not there. Okay, here the person is saying this is how it happened, but that's not how it happened. That's what that's what we believe, because every pictorial depiction here also we see them together, or the whole Rama Parivar. If Sita was in the forest, then there should be Lakshmana, Rama, and Hanumanji. Yeah. In every photo, that's all should have been there. A reference to Ravan Kush is there, yes. No, and they do tell the story of Ramayana also. But then this is not there, that she was left. Yeah. She may have gone to the Muni's ashrama for some time, that is also there. But it's not that she was left, and yeah, she was not abandoned. Yes.
A little bit of a silly question, but I have it to ask. If in our modern life we encounter someone who reminds us maybe a lot about Rama, right? We see many similarities between this person and Ravana, and we are trying to behave in a dharmic way. And we're also trying to retain some compassion, like person to person.
Yeah.
This begins to get a little bit muddled because the Ramayana is like
Allegory.
is an allegorical story.
Yes.
I'm not living an allegorical life. I'm living a very physical reality life.
Yes.
And sometimes it's a little bit difficult to discern when it is time to make, again, like Rama is good at making the distinction. Okay, now is not the battle to fight. How do you make this distinction in your life? How do you discern?
Yeah. Yeah. The question is how to deal with modern Ravanas. Very good question. And how do you decide when to fight and when to let go? Yeah. When you stumble, you get scotched a little bit. And you go, ooh, this is not the time. Back off slowly. Not the time. Sit. Gain some more knowledge about the situation. Gain some more, little bit more dispassion. Perhaps I'm too close to the situation. And so we allow ourselves to make a few mistakes. We don't know. Human life, and especially Dharma, does not come with an instruction booklet. Day one, you do this, and day two, you do this. Neither the parents nor the children have an instruction booklet of how to lead the life. So, in a way, one wings it, yes. And then, confronted by the difficulties, one sits down. Usually, the rule of the thumb is like this. If there is a battle, I'm really, really eager to fight. Then it is expedient to sit back a little bit, to restrain. If there is a battle I don't even want to look at, go fight that. because then the heart is free of that, of the attachment to the outcome. The attachment to the outcome vitiates our participation in any or our engagement in anything. And what does the Bhagavad Gita say? The attachment to the outcome is the cause of sorrow. But we have, that we expect an outcome is not a problem. But that I have to have it now or yesterday, and I have to have it in this particular way, that's the problem. So first I look at the baby Ravanas in the form of my own ragas and dveshas in my own heart. That is what it is. That's why when Lord Rama aimed his bow, he was first only going for the head, because he thought there are so many of them, let me just go for the head. And the head would go up and come down. See it? Go up and come down. He would grow another head. And Vibhishana finally tells him, aim at the heart, not at the head. The heart is the place, and you see, it's so beautiful in the symbolism. The bow is the Upanishad. The arrow is Tattvamasi. Rama here is the Guru. The Tattvamasi pierces the heart and rids it of ragadvesha, and then what is that? Ravana, the ahankara, dies. The person gains freedom. It's that vritti of oneness. It's actually very beautiful. So therefore, if I want to be an effective, in the world, then I have to let go of the attachment to the outcome. When I free the heart of wanting certain things to go a certain way, then there is much more of a room to participate. So let's go with the battles first, about which I'm not that bothered. Let me win, let me lose, doesn't matter. Let me go with those battles, baby battles, and then we can slowly graduate. Yes.
What is the implied morality behind Rama offering Sita to the fire to appear?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. What is the symbolism behind the fire? The fire actually, is connected to the 5 elements, and Sita is seen as the daughter of the earth. And so, since Sita is seen as the daughter of the earth is her mother. It is said, this is said in the Shastras, this is said in the Adhyatma Ramayana also, and the father is fire. And in fact, in the Adhyatma Ramayana and also in Ramcharita Manas, which follow the Adhyatma Ramayana, there is a shadow Sita. So the real Sita, even before she is abducted, is told to enter the fire. And she doesn't say to Lord Rama, are you out of your mind? What do you mean? Or she doesn't say that comes later, not now. But he says that because the father cannot, the fire cannot hurt her, because she transcends the body, remember. So this is why she's in the shadow form, because one reason she transcends the body. Second reason, the fire cannot hurt her. Agni Devata is seen as a father figure. So she is embraced by the fire Bhagavan and kept in safe keeping, so that she does not have to undergo all this abduction and everything. And then to spoof Ravana, a shadow version of her, very amicable, same looking, very sweet, emerges from the fire and as though conducts business. As though conducts the business, as though is the karta, as though is the bhokta of Ravana and all his injustice, the abduction and being kept there as a captive, all these things, the shadow Sita undergoes. And then at the end, the so-called Agni Pariksha is not really a Pariksha at all. The shadow Sita goes into the fire, and then the real Sita emerges, who was there. So this was one way of being protected from the keeping this being protected from the difficulties. And again, if we look at it symbolically, how to the prayer and the what is that? The surrender to Bhagavan and Bhagavati saves one from going through difficulties. We know how to cross over the difficulties very, very easily. So that is the idea here. So most of the Ramayana has this shadow Sita. Okay. So announcement for tomorrow. What was that? 10 o'clock, 10 to 11. And hopefully it won't be Atlanta stretchable time. Yeah, 10 to 11. And then after that, we'll take a short break, 10-15 minute break, then 11:15 to 12:15. Then we'll just end it there. Okay? No need to, we can have question answers, whatever there are there, I will take the questions, etc. No need to bring food and all. You can just come. Okay? Yes? Yeah. You're not saying yes. Yeah, so that's what we'll do. Okay? So no need to bring anything, bring yourselves. Don't worry about cooking and all that. We'll just have the teaching and then we'll go back. All right? Om Namah Shivaya. Where is Prasad? Please come and receive. From